This is Command Center, over. We are reaching event horizon. 20 years and $8.2 billion, all for this moment. To think we'll finally be able to see what's beyond the black hole. Your country? No. Your planet salutes you. Now go. Make humanity proud.
Hold it right there, mister. I found this in your library. Honestly, I'll leave you alone for 5 minutes, and this is what you start reading? Man, would you stop looking at that stupid hole and listen to me? There, you'll have it back when we're done. Now come on, let's see if we can find you something good to read. And here we have Dogs and Heroes Don't Dress Up. This is an amazingly funny and underrated isekai. It's the story of Ʃᵃᵒᵦ, an energetic 13-year-old. It was his childhood friend's birthday. He worked hard to buy her a present and decided this was the time to confess his feelings to her. This kid doesn't waste time. I like that. And her answer is... off! An earth-shattering rejection. Sasuke does a backflip and runs away with tears in his eyes. He vaults over a spiked fence and runs in the middle of the road. Now, my dear viewers, do you wanna guess what happened next? Well, you said this was an isekai, so I'm guessing he'll get hit by a truck. Wrong! He is completely safe. He then reached a railway crossing and busted a breakdance move in the middle of it. So that's what happened. He obviously got run over by a train. Incorrect! Wow, you really suck at this. He then reaches the ocean, takes off his clothes, and jumps in butt naked. That's it! He drowned and got isekai. Close, but no cigar. Damn it. He didn't drown, he simply found himself in another world. Butt naked. In front of people who called him the hero and asked him to save them. Butt naked. Sasuke reluctantly accepted, and thus began his journey as a hero. And after 5 years of companionship, sacrifices, and hard work, he finally killed the Demon Lord, and everyone was safe. To celebrate, Sasuke jumps into the bath, then poof, he's back in his home world. Butt naked. It's the story of Ʃᵃᵒᵦ, an 18-year-old hero with no education, no job, and no clothes. How will he survive in his own world? This manga is hilarious. The only problem is, there is no translation for it. The Roads have about 44 chapters, while the English scanlation only has 1.5 chapters, with no hope of more coming. And that's why it's in this video, because hopefully someone will see it and decides to pick it up. Oh, and if you speak Spanish, then you have 9 chapters to read. You lucky bastard. Now if you'll excuse me.
Tienes un gusto terrible.
Tienes un gusto terrible. Behind the battle of the hero and the Demon King. I think the biggest reason why I like this manga is because for an isekai fantasy, it focuses more on the friendship between the MC and his friend, which is something that we really don't see much of. I mean, I like romance as much as the next guy, but sometimes we just want to see bros being bros, you know what I mean? We out here starving for some good fantasy bromance, man. You know what? Screw it. I'll do it myself. Manga Barista presents Getting Isekai with the Boys. So anyway, this manga is about a salaryman who gets isekai'd into the world of a fantasy game. He is reborn as the son of a noble family, a side character that didn't even appear in the game. But he had bigger things to worry about, because apparently midway through the game, the capital will be annihilated. The thought of his impending doom motivates him to work hard, so he starts training and studying in order to change fate. His plan was to not get involved with the hero so there won't be any effects on the events of the story. But before they knew it, they became best friends. How you say? Well, that involves a series of events that may or may not have started by them beating up a bunch of guys in the infirmary. You know, normal male bonding activities. There's nothing that can bring men together like violence. The inexplicable male urge to beat someone with a broom. So Borneo's goal changes, from just saving the capital to saving the capital and protecting his homie. But you know what really sealed the deal for me with this manga? It was the first battle arc where all the royal knights of the capital fought an incoming monster invasion. I absolutely love intense drawn-out battles. And this arc was so intense that by the end of it, I felt tired and out of breath. Partly because the art was hard to follow at times. Majo no Kaigashuu. Not often do I come across a manga that flew so under the radar that even I didn't hear about it, especially one with this quality. Well, first, let me tell you the story before I talk about it, because it's kind of a mixed bag for me. Aisha is a sick orphan girl who lives in an orphanage. Because of her illness, she can't go outside. So she spends her days drawing and talking to her best friend Loki. One day, she discovers that she has the ability to bring her paintings to life by using her own blood as paint. So upon people's request, she draws paintings for them to help them with various problems. All this kid wanted was to make people happy. During one fateful night, Aisha was attacked by a deranged man. Loki tried to help her, but couldn't even touch him. And that's when he realized that he was a drawing all along, not even a live one. The years went by as Aisha was used for her gift, and Loki watching the only person he cares about suffer, without even being able to comfort her. And finally, when Aisha sensed that she's at the end of her life, she brought Loki to life by using her own blood on him and gave him a mission to find all her paintings and destroy them. She then tore his drawing apart so that no one will be able to control him. And 100 years later, Loki is still on his mission of hunting down the bloody paintings corrupted by their owner's greed. The story so far is very interesting, but it gets even more interesting when Loki finds a living doll that looks exactly like Aisha and even has her same powers. And now they have even more mysteries to uncover. The art is top tier, and the characters are very cool and fun, mainly the ally ones. The villains so far are pretty lame. This manga is finished with 30 chapters, but the English translation is yet to catch up. And I have dropped this manga after 10 chapters. The reason is simple, because it's a shonen. I really dislike shonen manga. I hate how predictable they are. So why even recommend it in the first place? Well, that's simply because I know that a lot of you guys like shonen manga regardless of how generic they can be. So, I'm sure you'll love this one. I have an announcement. It's time for the second Manga Barista reading your comments. Just like last time, if you have something to say or something to ask, like for example, how I got my ass handed to me by Millennia. Write it in the comments below and make sure to write #MangaB. That's all. Necromancer Academy and the Genius Summoner. This manhwa is like Harry Potter meets Solo Leveling. It's one of the best manhwa that I've read recently, because it doesn't fall into the holes that a lot of manhwa fall into, which are: the protagonist is way too OP way too soon, side characters so one-dimensional they make a cardboard box looks like a 4-dimensional entity, and an asshole MC for no reason. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Being an a-hole is not a personality, it's just obnoxious. The story is set in a world ruled by two major factions, the Necromancers and the Priests. After years of war, they finally achieved peace between them. Well, actually, it's more like a Cold War than actual peace. The story follows ćᵒᵏ, the heir to a small fiefdom in the outskirts, and the son of a necromancer and a priestess. One day, he gets an invitation to join Ćᵒᵏ Academy, basically the Hogwarts of necromancers. Even with that, you know it has less death rates than Hogwarts. It's an elite dark magic school and also the necromancer's headquarters at the same time. So Simon heads to the academy with hopes of learning necromancy like his old man. But when he reaches his destination, he learns 3 things. 1. Necromancy is the weakest subject, because necromancy is great in wars and big battles where corpses are abundant, but in times of peace, it's useless compared to other dark magic subjects. 2. Since this is an elite academy, they expel people left and right. If you don't perform, your goose is cooked. And 3. Simon is one of the weakest students at the academy, since he barely knows the basics of dark magic, so he's very behind. And so his adventure begins. He learns, makes friends, becomes stronger, fights them, fights some more, then he discovers a big secret that may or may not involve his family. One thing that I like is this sort of system at the school where the teachers get credit for getting talented students under them. This adds a whole nother layer, where teachers are fighting and scheming against each other to claim the talented students. The MC is not OP. He is strong with the potential to become OP. And the beautiful thing about this is that since we start off with him a blank slate, we are there with him every step of the way as he gets stronger. So when he wins in battles, it never feels unearned. This manhwa is also very good at making side characters. They are a lot of fun to watch. Their interactions are funny, they work together, they get into rivalries. All in all, a splendidly lively cast, and a fun story with good pacing. Also, I'm not sure who's the main love interest for the MC, but if it's anyone other than Ursula, I will riot! One more thing that I have to praise is, in a lot of these kinds of manga and manhwa where the MC is weak and attends a school, they're always made to be bullied. I'm glad to say that the cliché doesn't happen here. But to be fair, magic or not, I'm pretty sure that anyone who tries to bully Simon will get their teeth knocked out. The negative hero and the chief of the demon army. This one, I'm not the one who's recommending it. It's him. The story starts with a good old-fashioned hero and demon lord confrontation. The hero challenged the demon lord. So the demon lord does his classic pre-boss fight speech.
What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. How about you?
But the outcome was not what he expected, because the hero turns out to be an extremely miserable kid. Her parents were killed by villagers who blamed the demon attack on her because she's a hero. Then the kingdom forced her to train day and night, then gave her a sword and an armor and told her to not come back until she kills the demon lord. And now the poor thing just wants to die and be reunited with her parents. Where are you going?
I'm gonna pay a visit to their kingdom.
Are you stupid? Stop! Take an apron! Do you know how hard it is to clean blood off of a cashmere suit? So the demon lord, instead of killing the hero, found himself comforting her. Then he decided to take her in and take care of her. Such a base demon. This is the story of their lively days. This is one of those I can't believe the demons are more human than the humans type of story, where the demon lord slowly evolves into an overprotective dad, while him and the other occupants of the castle try their best to bring happiness to a self-deprecating girl who never knew kindness. I like how the demon lord is this extremely powerful dragon, but he gets stabbed in the heart every time the girl says the most depressing shit. This manga is funny and extremely wholesome, dangerously so. While reading this manga, I suffered 5 heart attacks, got diabetes, and passed out twice. See this, author? That's all you, baby! This manga is a lot of fun. See? Isn't that much better? Oh, I almost forgot. Catch!
I hope you found something good to read. If not, I hope Manga Barista got a chuckle out of you. In the depths of the night, where secrets are set free.